And let's talk about Queer Eye. So y'all already know that there's drama brewing behind the scenes of the final season of Queer Eye. I don't know if the show is on yet. I don't know if it's airing on Netflix, nor do I care because I don't watch the show and I don't like none of them bitches on there. But because this is a hot topic, we gonna talk about it. Especially how allegedly these queens was going around bullying Karamo, which I also heard that there was some people out here saying, well, Karamo ain't no angel either, because there was a girl that came out with some pink sauce and he had her on his show and he was doing some bullying on the Karamo talk show regarding the pink sauce, and somebody was complaining about it. It was a whole drama situation. I'm like, okay, that's one situation. But what does that got to do with a black homosexual male who, of course, has got to be the representation of the entire community because there's only one of you and four other white queens that's sitting up there getting to represent different aspects of the community. But he got to be the staunch, citizen in this situation. What does that got to do with the fact that he was being bullied behind the scenes by his coworkers and his mother heard them, throwing shade on a hot mic? I just want to know what the hell what was said behind the scenes. That's what I want to know. Because then this will change everything and let us know who it was. Now, I'm blaming Tam for it because Tam want to be white. And then I wouldn't put nothing past that Antoni, because Antoni gives like pretty boy, but you a shady bitch behind the scene. You definitely get that energy. And I wouldn't put nothing past that gay Jesus, because while he be having little outbursts, there might be some shade that's thrown with him and stuff. But let's get into it, because speaking of gay Jesus, let's talk about him, because he has broken his silence in regards to all this Karamo drama that's been circulating all over the internet. So Queer Eye's grooming expert and 1/5 of Queer Eye's Fab Five, Jonathan Van Ness, has spoken out about Karamo Brown, claiming he was worried about being bullied. Now, on Tuesday, January 20th, tensions between the Queer Eye Fab Five, Van Ness, Tan France, Anthony Porowski, Karamo Brown, and Jeremiah Brent, appeared to have come to a head after, under advice from his therapist, Brown opted out of press interviews promoting the 10th and final season. Karamo Brown's assistant said the culture expert was worried about being bullied if he appeared with the four, adding that he had felt mentally and emotionally abused for years, though he did not state by who. The no-show has blown the cover of a rift between the current Fab Five, with Brown having unfollowed Van Ness, France, and Porowski on social media. The only one person that he wound up following was Jeremiah Brent, who has no skin in the game because he's new. He's only been on for 2 seasons. After especially, season 8, they went and fired Bobby Burke, who we're going to get to him in a minute because he actually jumped in the comments, in Karamo's comments showing support. So we'll get to that in a minute. But Jeremiah had no skin in the game, so he's going to follow him and realize that, okay, there's no malice or whatever between you because you're new. You don't really have any history. You're just here to do a job. Yes, he is friends with Tan, and Tan did come out and try to say that I didn't have any say in getting Bobby fired in order for this guy to get hired. Although you did reveal, and it wasn't your place to do that Bobby Burke was allegedly fired from the Netflix show, even though Bobby said he walked away. But then, of course, your little shady ass had to go in and try to take the narrative and make it, you had to be cunty with what you said. And we know how bitchy queens are. I don't like cheap queens. I don't like bitchy queens. I don't like messy queens. I'm always use that quote from the iconic Gia Gunn when we talking about this. But anyway, so now Van Ness has now spoken with news.com.au. I'm guessing that's an Australia paper about, or website about the drama. Now, reporter Andrew Bucklow asked what it's like to be part of a story that's trending globally, to which Van Ness responded, "It feels kind of out of body. I think there is so much pressure in our industry to show up and do things that you may be. I don't want to speak for him because I respect him. I treasure the time that we had together on that show. I'm proud of him for doing what he needs to do to take care of himself. That's all I want for anyone to do. Do the things that you need to do to take care of yourself." Now, on Wednesday, former Queer Eye star Bobby Burke, who exited the show in 2023 amid team tensions, appeared to subtly respond to the drama. Now, taking to Instagram, Berg shared a photo of himself hanging off a fence post, gleefully grinning. He soundtracked the post with Chaperone's 2023 song My Kink is Karma. Sorry. Now, in 2012, saying that, them bitches are they ain't that innocent. And now you got two out of the Fab Five who are throwing shade at them other bitches on that show. What do you think is the common factor? And it's probably that they're all jealous because, okay, so Bobby Burke was the talented one. He was carrying that show on his back, and that's no shade. Um, he he's the one with the actual talent. And so Bobby Burke is fine. I believe now he's on HGTV doing his thing over there. Karamo had another job outside of Queer. He's got his own talk show. He's been doing other things. So he's not hurting in any way. And Karamo's very immensely talented. And when you look at the other three, I mean, I'm excluding Jeremiah from this. But when you look at them other three, no, I mean, every now and again you'll see Antoni pop up on The View and doing some food thing or whatever, and he'll pop up here and there on a show. And Tan, he couldn't hack it as doing like that little fashion show. What was it called? Next in Fashion on Netflix. I don't know what's going on with that. After 2 seasons, we ain't heard nothing about that show. I don't even think it's coming back. And then Gay Jesus, yeah, he's put out a couple of books, but outside of that, who's checking for her? They do go by she, her, they, them, him, her, or him, he. Do going by all the pronouns, but you non-binary. Okay. So now taking to Instagram, Burke shared a photo of himself. Oh, yeah, I read that part. Now in 2024, 7 individuals who have worked on the show remember, there was a Rolling Stone expose that came out where Van Ness, was accused of being a nightmare to work with and described him as having rage issues. Is that a hormone imbalance? Now, they said in response to the claims, Van Ness captioned a series of photos. Doesn't matter what they say, the jealous games that people play, name that tune. Okay, girl. Now, the quote is a reference to the song Our Lips Are Sealed by the Go-Go's, which also includes the lyrics, there's a weapon that we must use in our defense, silence. Well, apparently it didn't work because you took the social media posters. Now, silence means you don't post shit. It don't mean that you just go in and try to, control the narrative. So that's not all, because not only, speaking of Antoni Porowski, he actually clapped back at a fan who basically was in the comments over on his Instagram, who basically was like, I can't enjoy this show no more because it's now fake. Because you out here saying all these things, or y'all putting on this front like y'all good Judies, because you saw the body language. They're all sitting on next to each other, holding each other's hands, putting on a united front. It was giving fake and phony. It was giving performative, and I wasn't buying it as far as y'all could throw it. Y'all were trying to put on this whole act because Karamo basically threw you off y'all game, and y'all couldn't even come in and present this thing of this media training thing that y'all could do. You couldn't come in and do it because he threw you off your game. So y'all had to come up with something quick. So we're going to sit with each other, hold each other's hands like we around in a prayer circle singing fucking Kumbaya. And nobody was buying it. Not even the people that's over in the comments over on Antoni's page. And rightfully so, because it kind of makes you look at it. If 2 people from the show have had issues with y'all on the show, and it's giving Mean Girls, it's giving Regina George with the burn book tease, if it's going to give all of that stuff, then how are people supposed to react? And people watching the show is like, now I'm sitting there watching and wondering, okay, so we're in there, like, y'all really like each other or no? So it's like, you can't even sit and watch the show for what it was. And that's why I said, me personally, I like the original Queer Eye better, because that original Queer Eye show, it was like, yeah, it was about trying to help straight guys look better or take pride in their appearance or whatever the case is. But also, it was all tongue in cheek. It was poking fun at, these stereotypes around gay people and also straight men and that whole situation. So I love the idea of it didn't take itself seriously. And that's what I feel like is missing from the show. It's all about tugging at heartstrings. It's taking itself too seriously. And that's what I feel like it turned me off from that, because when you do a show like Queer, it needs to be a sense of camp, a sense of irony, that sort of thing. It's not about, oh, we have to come in and act like these serious people because we want to make the lives of straight people better. And it's like, please get off my line with this fake phony bullshit. And I saw through it from the beginning, which is why I didn't subject myself to the foolishness of this damn show. So with Jonathan Van Ness saying what he said, I'm glad you talking about you saying all the right things, but I'm side eyeing you because I'm wondering if you partook in the stuff, or maybe you were just somebody who they were talking shit and you were sitting there on the sidelines just kikiing and giggling and not coming to Karamo's defense. Maybe that's why he unfollowed you, because he like birds of a feather. So yeah, let's so speaking of which, let's get into this stuff. So as y'all know, they had the thing now. They said after reacting to Brown's absence in interviews, Porowski alluded at the feud on Wednesday by posting an image to his IG stories of the Fab Five with the caption, "When life hands you lemons, you make some thyme and rosemary-infused lemonade." And you writing that, it goes to show that I believe that you are the one that has something to do with this drama going. You and Tan ain't said shit. I'm starting to think it was you. So now, what I noticed and I clocked it before Gail in that wig decided to go in on Jeremiah. Well, we're not going to sit and dismiss it. And I'm glad she said what she said. But I told y'all in the beginning, I said I caught it from Antoni first because he was the one that opened the door a little bit. He laid he threw from Showgirls as that reference, he threw the beads on the floor for his ass to trip over. A little subtle. But then Jeremiah picked it up and decided to carry it further because Antoni opened the Pandora's box. So I really feel like there was some shade that may have commiserated from his ass. So I'm starting to think he has something to do with it. Because I clocked it from that thing. You were trying to act like you was you palm people, you homosexual white boys. Y'all like to hide behind that smile with the face, that shit. But I always catch the shade when y'all be throwing it. And you ain't that damn cute. You cute, but you ain't that damn cute. So now, also on Wednesday, Porowski shared a series of images from Queer Eye Season 10. He captured a post as not about how or even that it ended. The journey of it all was the part I'll hold close to my heart. Thank you to each, blah, 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 watch the show, whatever that case was. So he said all of that foolishness. And now we have somebody who jumped in the Instagram comments, which I'm going to pull that up because the people went in on his page. And I'm actually surprised that he didn't even like turn the comments off. Maybe he was real confident to come up in there and think that you wasn't going to be affected by the shit you was going to say. So he jumped in the comments and there was a guy that said, don't you owe Karamo a public effing apology? Then, y'all shady. Somebody posted a picture of Bobby and Karamo with a laugh emoji. Y'all just going ain't I'm living for it though. Another person said, I want to know what y'all did to Karamo and Bobby. But here's the thing, because I think this refreshed, so it took away the actual comment that Porowski responded to. But I have it because it's in the actual article, courtesy of Pink News. But we'll get to that in a minute. Let me just read all the other ones because then we can get to the final one and then we'll use what Antoni said. So another person says, stop watching after Bobby left. For a bunch of guys on a show about community, talking about community, seems you forgot about what the word meant. A group of mean gays abusing their coworkers just doesn't have the same ring. Another person says, damn, a lot of people said they stopped watching after Bobby Burke left. One big happy family, in quotes. Another person says, so y'all just not gonna include photos about, oh yeah, that was another thing too, how they just clearly erased Bobby Burke from the show. So they posted all these pictures with Jeremiah. And it's sad that Jeremiah got to get astray in all of this, because I don't know, based off of what we're going by, he has nothing to do with this. He has no skin in the game. He has no stake in this fight. But you have all these other queens who being slick and just trying to act like Bobby Burke wasn't a part of this show for 8 damn seasons before whatever happened behind the scenes happened. So now y'all doing that whole queer erasure from a tight-ass show that I just didn't particularly care for from jump. Another person said, I'm definitely looking at a lot of y'all sideways after the news of Karamo's absence broke. And so another person said, this is so sad that the rest of the cast are not addressing this, neither trying to make amends to restore their relationship. This goes against everything that they have preached. I don't know if that makes sense. Or I think you meant they have preached. but they wrote priest. Okay, so I'll just leave it on this picture for now, and then let's get into the actual thing that caused Antoni to get up on the line and I guess what called himself clapping back. So the person said, not gonna lie, the backstage drama kind of kills the vibe of the show. I'm not motivated to watch you all portray to be a big happy family on every episode knowing it's all fake. If you can't work out your own mess, how can you be in charge of fixing someone else's life? Now, in turn, Porowski said this. Excuse me, he said, a lot of us come from complicated families and still have jobs and positive things we're passionate about. Authenticity is about being honest about the complexities of life and knowing two things can exist at the same time. And what would that be? Because now that you open that can of worms, we want to know what you're talking about. You're talking about two things that exist at the same time. What is them two things? That you have love and family and all these other things, and family is complicated, but y'all be talking shit. Like, we know the tea on what happened. Apparently, the story came out from reputable sources that Karamo's mother heard y'all talking shit about her son on a hot mic. So, if this is the moment where she's been clocking what y'all did at this point in this show, the final season, what else have y'all been saying about her child behind the scenes? It's basically what we want to know, since we were brought into this, into the group chat, courtesy of Karamo not showing up. Okay, so we don't need to, I don't think we need to finish on the rest of it, because it goes into, this article also goes into the thing about Bobby Burke, and they also talk about the Rolling Stone investigation into drama and all this other stuff with Jonathan Van Ness. But they were talking about in 2023, after the show's 8th season, a 2024 Rolling Stone investigation identified further issues based on multiple reports from people involved with the show's production. Burke has responded in the latest view by sharing a gleeful image, blah, blah, blah. We talk about Junker Jack. Oh, he got a show called Junker Jackpot. And I didn't know that was the name of the show. And then they talk about, yeah, they're all saying the same shit. So if y'all can, definitely check out Queer Out on Netflix. I won't be watching. I ain't never watched. I watched a little bit of the show in the beginning. I don't give a shit about these queens. They could all sashay away for all I care. But shout out to Karamo. Regardless of how you feel about him, nobody deserves to be bullied by a group of people on a damn show, especially when y'all supposed to be working. And y'all need to realize that it's slim pickings out here when it comes to the LGBTs and representation and gigs and jobs and things on the TV screens. But y'all want to be out here acting like that y'all career's gonna last beyond this damn show. Well, some of y'all will. All of y'all, I don't see it. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding, Jonathan Van Ness, what he had to say, and Antoni saying what he had to say? I don't feel like he said a bunch of anything. Like, it's still been left vague. I'm still relatively confused. Or maybe it's because I did like 15 damn topics. My brain is fried. I'm tired. My voice is about to go, and I'm ready to get up off this topic and finish wrapping up this damn show. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.